let's talk about building an HR culture that helps the company succeed. Before that, welcome you all to HR Tips. In HR Tips, we gather some cool insights that we have captured by working with our amazing set of partners and futuristic companies and HR leaders. And we are bringing all that insights right to you so we all could have a conversations around how some of the most fantastic HR groups and departments are getting built that are helping us in the future of work, that are helping businesses take the businesses forward. So welcome everyone. And in this episode, we'll talk about a very interesting problem that if you are in HR, you are very aware of, but that is killing an organization, that is really impacting the growth of an organization, that is impacting the culture of an organization. It is one of the most critical area, and that is the very aspect of the definition of HR, right? It's a human resource, right? HR is supposed to be an advocate for individual, for a human, for workers, for professionals, for working in organizations. But tell me, how many times if you're in HR, you feel that you are actually a BR, so-called business resource, than an HR human resource, right? Because you are an advocate for business. Many times HR wants to make sure that business is liability free. Instead of making the employee feel welcomed in an organization, the entire focus is to make sure that the businesses are not impacted by employees. Is that the right attitude? So interestingly, you must have seen it if you're in HR, this particular problem manifested in many forms. So an employee with a bad experience come to you with a complaint, with a toxic environment, and what you do? Many times you try to protect the conversation, right? If you are a progressive organizations, I don't have to tell you, right? You already know what you do. You have to help this employee. You have to get on as an advocate, as a resource for that particular worker. Make sure they are welcome in the organization. Make sure the organization culture is created to accommodate, to accept all workers, right? Because it's all the diversity in an organization that really help organizations thrive. We all coming up with our own experience, adding to this wonderful mix. That's what matters. But many times that is the least or that is not the way the HRs are designed. And what is the end result? The end result is the big culture of concealing things, the big culture of not telling stuff, the big culture of not sharing some of those insights which could have saved company a lot more going down the road. Because these things, eventually what will happen, a culture where the employees are not feeling protected and safe, it will create this culture of abuse. It creates this culture of concealment that eventually it just boils up and it just take the entire organization with surprise. And then now the branding cost will take a hit, and it is going to bite you at some point. So if you're in HR and you are in an organizations where HR really means a business resource more than a human resource, do something about it. How you can do that? You can do that by putting employee first. I know I was talking about this interesting bank in the Midwest, and one of their leader, and their perspective was, when they deal with their employees, the first response is yes, right? Every employee in the company they are trained with this power to say yes. Only if they want to say no, they need an escalation or they need authorization, right? So that itself gives the idea of inclusivity, right? So if someone comes with a problem, they are feeling a problem, yes, there's a problem. and then the HR will jump in or the worker will jump in. And this creates an interesting culture for the entire organization. It creates an interesting culture where you are appreciating your workers, you are being an advocate. And look at it, right? So if nowadays we are more global, we are more temp versus full time, uh, we are more remote versus in at office. So there's a very less need for an employee to be loyal to a company, right? And this is the pivotal moment then when HR could should realize that the glue that sticks an employee to an organization, it's getting less sticky now. So that means the culture, the way you treat your workers, the way workers feel included and engaged in an organization, that is a paramount. So um, I want to focus on that particular problem in this episode. I want to have a conversation with you all that if you don't, if you see a toxic culture within your organization, if you see a culture where your thoughts are being suppressed, if an employee is being afraid to come to you, I could name a lot of interesting companies whose workers we have dealt directly with, and all they did wrong was complained about their immediate manager, and within 4 months of escalation, now they are leaving the companies. 4 to 8 months. And this is not a common story. This is a very, very frequently told story by a lot of employees who are seeing a toxicity on the manager. And their defense was their mistake was they just went to an HR, hoping that HR would help alleviate this problem or solve this problem. And all they end up getting was getting booted off the company. Some have come back with the litigation with the legal help, and this is not correct. So again, this is something that is preventing HR's culture. So if you are in HR, ensure your leadership understands. And if you're an HR leader, I thank you if you're already doing it. If not, I urge you and request you to create that bonding, create a culture where you are a true representation of workers. You are representing the workers in against the business. You want to ensure, because if your worker stays, then your business will stay. Remember that. If there is no worker, there is no HR. So it is important for you. It is crucial for you, and I do hope and with finger crossed that many interesting HR people would step in and help out. And if you have anything that you want to add to the conversation, please use the comments below. Do let us know your thoughts, and if you want us to cover any particular topic, or if you have something you want to share, do give us a holler. Do reach out there again, comments, message any of our team members. Thank you so much again for watching the episode, and if you find it useful, we hope you share it within your communities. You share it with anyone who could use this, and we will keep bringing interesting tips right to your doorstep, so we could have good conversations about that. With that, thank you so much for watching the episode, and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.